Well, the world is watching, waiting if the arrival of Nancy Botox Pelosi in Taiwan is going to spark a military retaliation from China. Now, let me just say a few things, and this is going to be a really quick video, a really quick observation and commentary today. There has never been a presidential administration that has done more to benefit communist red China than Joe Beijing Biden himself. China Joe, as I like to refer to him. When you start looking at the millions of dollars that were funneled to Joe Biden through his son Hunter, because Joe Biden is the big guy, Joe Biden is absolutely, without question, compromised. Remember back when they were accusing Donald Trump of being compromised by Russia? When they were talking about that, obviously, that there were things that the Russians had on Donald Trump with regard to their financial dealings and things that they knew that he had done while he was there in Moscow, you know, the whole PP tape. And this could be used to blackmail Donald Trump into doing what they want, and otherwise they would destroy his reputation and let this out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, Donald Trump maintained his innocence the whole time. They've never been able to show one shred of proof for any of that. The Mueller investigation went down in flames. The attempt to try to impeach him over that went down in flames. So it just was just all for naught. You know why the Democrats accused him of that? You know why Hillary and her henchmen came up with that plan? Because that's how they operate. It was pure projection based on their own personal experience. And Joe Biden is in this up to his eyeballs when it comes to being compromised. You think about what he has done since he became president of the United States. He rolled back all of the tariffs that Donald Trump put into place. Remember, Donald Trump, one of the big issues he campaigned on was not, quote, the wall. It was not just this idea of this generic term of make America great again, but he said one of the problems is the fact that China manipulates currency. They prop themselves up. They rip off our intellectual property. They steal from us constantly. And the trade deals are so absolutely lopsided and one-sided. You would have thought that during the pandemic, we would have figured out that all of our medications being manufactured in China, not a good thing. One of the things that Donald Trump started doing was really putting the screws to American companies that sent all their manufacturing over to China. That they wanted them to keep that right here. Jobs for Americans. Yes, your DVD player and your TV might cost a couple of dollars more, but you are employing Americans, you are supporting American families. Donald Trump understood that he who controls industry controls finances, and with those two things, you literally control the world. So, President 11, I know some people call him Ping, but you know, for me, you put two Roman numerals together, I'm going to give you the numerical value. You put an X and an I together, that's 11. So President 11 and Joe Biden, Joe's into him because at any moment the Chinese can release all the real hardcore evidence linking themselves to Hunter to Pop, and the money. And you know the Chinese even have all of the financial records, no matter how well and how many shell companies all of that money move through. The Chinese know exactly where Joe Biden has the money. So they've had this over his head, which is why he has reneged on all of the tariffs. Has Joe Biden put any pressure on American companies to manufacture here? Has he done any penalties for manufacturers who keep transplanting jobs overseas? No. In fact, The CHIPS Act, which Joe Manchin helped get through Congress, the CHIPS Act is just another corporate bailout, giving billions of dollars to big tech so that they can make chips wherever they want. There was no stipulation that those chips be made here in the United States. So now they're going to be made, manufactured wherever they decide, which, can you guess where this might be heading? Joe Biden, who covered up the origin of COVID coming from the Wuhan lab in, where's that again? China. Are you putting all this together? And Joe Biden, so concerned about the American people, he feels your pain at the gas pump.
He's going into strategic oil. It's wonderful.
I heard libloons and progressives even here on YouTube talking about,
well, the president's doing something. He's going to ease our pain at the pump.
Your pain at the pump is being eased because we're ripping off oil from Syria. Yeah, we are literally ripping off oil from a sovereign nation. The strategic oil reserve, you know what Joe Biden's doing with that? He gave it to China. Bum, ba-dum, bum. No, seriously, he gave it to China. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. See, we're out there either paying through the nose for oil or stealing it from Syria. But he's taking our strategic oil reserve and he didn't sell it to China. He gave it to China. Because I promise you, China, with all of their industry, all of their manufacturing, they have no intention of
following the American lead. And if we lead by example and go with the Green New Deal and start developing unicorn piss as an alternative fuel and wind power and solar power, then the rest of the nations of the world will do it too.
Bull hawk. China needs oil desperately. So what do? We are giving our number one geopolitical threat the very resources they need to make war against us. They haven't stopped manufacturing. They continue to produce all of our medication. And Joe Biden and his administration has done nothing to bring any of that back to the United States. Why? He's compromised. You now have members of the Biden White House saying, we do not recognize Taiwan as a sovereign nation. What? I've heard even some liberal progressives saying that by Nancy Pelosi being in China, they're stoking the wars with China. No, you got that completely backwards. President 11 knows he's got Obama Biden over a barrel, literally. He is so bought, paid for, and compromised. We do not want a war with China. So Ping is stoking the fires just to see what else he can get Joe Biden to give him. Why? Because there's real collusion there. And he is compromised. And he is bought and paid for. And he is a criminal. That's Beijing Biden. That's China Joe.